Anyone want to start off? Ladies first, as women say. Last I heard.
Sabir, I think we should say something about Gordon first.
Sure, ladies first. Go ahead.
Gordon's introducing everybody, but he didn't really introduce himself and how brilliant he is. Does anybody here know Gordon?
Woohoo! No.
Yeah.
Give him a hand.
His abilities. You gotta love the socks. Every time it's a different pair. So if you wear funky socks, you have to have a picture with Gordon's socks. Okay? But Gordon is brilliant and he's so humble. He helps people without ever expecting anything in return. He loves it. He gets such mental income from it. He truly is authentic about it, but it's not just his love of helping people, it's his ability to help people. And the fact that he is so brilliant, he's so creative, like I can't even keep up with him, okay? Yes, business partner, and I look at the phone when Gordon calls and I go, oh, he's gonna fill my head with so many things. And he does, and they're brilliant, they're awesome. I can't even keep up with all his ideas. If you haven't connected with Gordon yet, please do. He's helped so many businesses achieve extreme success, okay, that you absolutely have to connect with him. So if you have any questions about building your business or anything, if you want some great creative ideas with your business, Gordon is definitely the guy to speak to, okay?
Let me expand on that if I may, Randy.
Absolutely.
I met Gordon just about 2 years ago also, and exactly what Randy said. Every time he calls me, he fills my phone conversation. I thought he says, "You got 2 minutes?" Yeah, but that 2 minutes turns out to God knows how long. It's certainly. But the thing is, he certainly is a wealth of information, a wealth of knowledge. And going back to what Sunil said earlier, if you can help as many people and not expect anything in return, it certainly has a lot of value. And that's what I find with Gordon. Brings so much value to our business, Century 21. Let me just give you some numbers over here, ladies and gentlemen. We used to be number 24. And then Gordon came into my business and my business partner's life, Sunil Muhammad, who just had left to pick up his daughter. We dropped from 24 to 21 in the first year that we met him. And then he helped us and gave us a lot more creativity, inspiring people like these seminars, and how we grow our business, how we inspire our realtors. From 21, we dropped to 17. That's what we were, so that's what we were in 2014. So last year from 17, we dropped to number 11 in the country. It's better over here, ladies and gentlemen. We were number 11 in the first 6 months of 2015. And he gave us some more motivation, he gave us some awesome, great motivational programs we set up in our organization. We had goals set that we wanted to be number 10, top 10 in Canada. Now this is Century 21 from east to west coast of Canada. Not just in Toronto, ladies and gentlemen. We want to be top 10, and we became top 10 in December of 2015. And now he rises the bar again and says, you want to be top 5. Top 5. This is just consistently motivating, it's consistently inspiring my team, the management team, and I think, like I said, Randy and Gordon, they both came into our lives over here. Randy came in after Gordon had introduced, but it certainly is like both of them have really helped out with our business, our real estate business, and we're still the same amount of realtors we had. We're still about 200 realtors. It's not like we've got 50, 60, 70 other realtors and grew the business. We're still status quo, the same amount of realtors, but yet our volume simple goes back with our mindset that Randy and Gordon have worked with us. So thank you very much, Randy and Gordon, for helping us. So if anyone wants to see the business explode in a similar way in 2 years, these are the folks over here. And all I want to say is thank you, Mr. Byron Nelson. 60 days, I think, is what it is. Maybe a little less than that. When was the, January was the women's? January 19th. So there you go. So less than 60 days. that's when I had dinner with Byron. I had missed you at that event for whatever reason it was, but just with the dinner and spending an hour or two really made me change in thought process over here. So yes, I mean, a lot of that has happened, and thank you very much about that, Byron. So I'm only gonna say is just a few hours with this gentleman changing. I don't know what my other time will change when I get onto his program over here. So yeah, I'm really excited. So those of you who have not even picked onto that, this is an individual over here, certainly a wealth of knowledge, but certainly gets us all going over here. So thank you again, Byron. Thank you. Any questions, anybody maybe?
Questions? You guys show up all day with no questions?
If you could share some of the things that you talked with Shabir on that dinner that you had, that would be great.
It's more prescribed to the individual of what you're, where you are. Like, a lot of people actually a lot of people actually read a book. And you'll read a good book, and you'll tell everybody about it. Everybody in here has done that, right? You've gotten a good book, and then you share it with everybody. The distinction is every book is not for everybody at every time. So as you start to evolve into his level of play, their level of play, then one book is not going to be applicable to you that's applicable to him. So what the problem is when it comes to coaches, and I was having this conversation earlier, is people have a canned way of training and coaching, which is not necessarily accessible. That's why I don't believe in sales. I believe in marketing. I believe in sharing versus selling, right? So if you share it, the right people will gravitate to you. If you're selling, it's almost like someone desperate. Imagine a woman, generally speaking, you gave a man your number, and then you regretted it by the end of the day. You got 5 messages on your machine. I called and you didn't answer. Where are you? I just met you. I want to go out to dinner. You're like, why did I give this guy my number? Right? So it's a matter of understanding relaxed intensity, right? Without being desperate. So it's peeling back on each prescribed person a different thing. He's at a different level than most people, so it's a different conversation that would not necessarily be applicable to you. Not to say that you're higher or lower, it's just different situations. So if you're more specific, I'm more like a doctor. You tell me what your need is, I'll tell you what I'll prescribe. So what do you want? what do you need helped?
I guess I'm one of those people who's reading all these books, and I can't seem to latch onto something. Like, I'm afraid that I'm missing the boat on something that's really great, and I never stick to one thing long enough that I can say it doesn't work. I feel like all these things work, but I'm not committed. I'm always afraid that I'm not doing the best thing. So I don't know, like, how to choose that best thing, or is it just choose something and stick with it? Like, I'm not sure what I have to do or what I need to listen to.
So briefly, your greatest challenge is, would you like to know?
Yes.
Your lack of belief in yourself.
I love you 75% more than I did before.
As a doctor, that's the problem.
What's the pill?
There is no book to fix that. There's only a pain to fix that. People gravitate to either 2 things, either pain or pleasure, always. So the old adage, I tell you the story of the old dog, and some people have heard the story of the dog. And so there's a little boy who actually walks by this old man. He's sitting there on the corner consistently, and he has a dog, and the dog is sitting there bitching and complaining. But, you know, it's just as most people do about life. I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough resources, I'm too black, I'm too white, I'm too Indian, I'm too Mexican. All these different reasons. The dog is, and we all know people like that. It's like, I can't find myself. Go to the freaking mirror. But right? When it comes down to it, the little boy walks by this man 3 times in a row, 3 days in a row. On the 3rd day, he asked the old man, he said, what is wrong with the dog? Well, he's in a lot of pain. I get that. He keeps bitching and barking and complaining every time I walk by. The dog has something to say. It's just the average people on this planet. He said, no, what's really wrong with the dog? He said, well, if you really must know, he's sitting on a rusty nail. And it's painful. And so the old man looks at him, he says, do you understand? He said, I do. But he says, the little kid, it's a child, who asked with Socratic method of thinking, why doesn't the dog get up? And the old man looked and said, it doesn't hurt bad enough. When it hurts bad enough, you'll get up and do whatever you have to do. That's why I said it has to do with timing. It's not a matter of do the books work or does the coaching work. It comes down to a belief system. And you can't believe in something else until you believe in yourself. His success comes from his belief system. It came from something that lacked, that he wanted to fill a void. And his belief was, it's not going to happen unless I do it. That's the same with him. That's the same with everybody that has any amount of success. There was a void. They filled it. Once they realized that that void could not be filled until they did it. And you do it, and you do it, and you do it, and you do it, and you're really bad when you start doing it. Then you get actually bad. Then you actually get good. Then you become great. Then you become outstanding, and the power of focus of just being able to stay on track with the belief system that if I keep doing it, people will stop and ask, how'd you do that? And he's going to look at you and he's going to say, I just did it. And I did it, and I did it again and again and again. And all of a sudden, I figured out how to do it better and better each time. But what I realized is if I never started, I'll never figure it out. Did that help?
Yes.
Excellent. That was the short answer.
Anything else, Sylvia?
Yes.
Oh, hello. Byron, I was feeling exactly the same as her. You seminar after seminar, book after book, and I read something about if you can't find your purpose, find your passion, because it may be your purpose.
My car. It
So you
does.
need to find
I have to go to
what
tomorrow.
actually is something that you're really passionate about.
It does.
Correct.
If you can find that,
200%.
though you don't
I would've
know
just
what
thought
I'm
I'd
finding,
go to
if you don't know the way it's, where the path is, it's like you take each step. And thank you to Randy and Gordon and others, and just a circle of people you hang around with, you'll start to find, often I'm not planning where I'm going, it's just happening, because it's coming from a place of, Gordon, would you say like heart or heart passion or something? When you find that, yeah, it's almost like you're compelled towards it. It's drawing me. I'm not drawing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, when I was doing this, I was so passionate that I was pissed off when the weekend came. I was so upset when Saturday and Sunday came, when I left the police force and I was doing so well and I was passionate about it. I was calling and people said, it's Saturday. I said, oh, damn, I can't work today. So there's a word that I use. Take the word play, take the word work, and combine it together and call plurking. So if you're plurking,
Not twerking.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you define your plurking, right? You define your plurking, whatever that is. But if you're playing and working, because I used to say to people, "Hey, I'm playing." People thought, "Well, maybe he's not making money." Then I said to him, "I'm working." Then people think, "Oh, he's working hard, just like his dad." No. So I took the word play and work, and then things that I would do for free. It's like Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan. I mean, yeah, he makes good money, but he plays first, and then he makes money, and that's just a secondary thing. So for me, what we all do for me at least, I know for sure that when I am what I'm doing today, like being on the stage and what I did with you guys, we're plurking. We're enjoying ourselves and we're changing lives. And so take action towards what you want despite the fear. You know, just do it.
You guys want to know Samir's next book? Or not Samir, Sunil's next book? Sunil's next book is 21 Ways to Plurk Your Way to Success. Yeah, I got to tell you something.
One word. 21 innovative ways.
Innovative.
Okay.
Before we go with Maureen, I got to tell you something about Jennifer. I hope you don't mind me talking about Jennifer. We met about 2 years ago?
Maybe, yeah.
2 years ago, maybe?
I was very shy.
Very shy at an event like this. If you think you're shy, in terms of believing in yourself.
What have they done?
Right? And you're talking about investing in books and so on. And I strongly believe that. You know, some of the folks up here have probably spent tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars on themselves. Samin is the most successful broker that I know in the city. He was the first guy back there investing in himself in the Brian Tracy program. So he's investing in yourself. Jennifer, I can't even tell you the number because it's not for me to tell. Sunil said he spent $5,000 on his first boot camp with Robert Allen. Went home and his wife's like, you know how many pairs of boots I could have bought for $5,000? But
I spent 16 with peak potential.
well, you know, yeah. So I didn't want to say that, but can you imagine? She spent $16,000 and was still frustrated. So I'm going to leave a thought with you. So my mentor, you know, he was actually the CEO for Mary Kay Cosmetics. Everyone thinks Mary Kay built a company. Yes, it was her idea. It was her dream and goal to start Mary Kay. But there's a young fellow, a Canadian fellow right here, who became the CEO for Mary Kay and took them from $500 million to $4.6 billion in sales. Nobody's ever heard of him. Right? He just recently made a $13 billion bid to buy Avon. Talking about success. Well, he taught me a long time ago inspiration with motivation, because we can all be inspired and motivated. Right? You guys know people who are inspired and motivated, but they're still broke. Right? So inspiration and motivation without direction leads to total frustration. Does that make sense? So that's why I love every one of the individuals that are here right now. If you work with Sunil, I saw Sunil, right? He would take an individual who knew nothing about real estate and actually mentor them to actually go out and buy real estate. As scared as they were, they would actually go out and they would actually take the plurk, is that the word? And actually do it. They would plurk and actually make money. Byron, I've seen him all around the world. He's taken, it's not just here. Like you guys see Byron with a smaller circle of influence with 30 of us, 50 of us, 100 of us. We're in national conventions. Anna's back there. We're at national conventions with 10, 20, 30,000 people. And Byron's exactly the same way. People are lining up just to speak with them because you know what's happening is with the leadership that's up here. What we want to grow with you guys as new leaders is we want you to spend money on yourself. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. But we want you to spend money with individuals who's been there and done it that can actually mentor you and help you to success. But don't spend $16,000. And I'm not trying to pick on you.
No.
Right? Don't whether it's $16 or $16,000. Don't spend that money and sit on it and do nothing. Right? Look yourself in the mirror, like what Byron said. Take responsibility for your own success and take responsibility for your own failure. And we got to stop pointing the finger. Right? You got to look in the mirror and say, if it's going to be, it's up to me. Nobody else. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to pick on you, Jennifer. But Maureen, you have a question, right?
My name is Maureen Simpson, and I'm not in real estate. I came here today to get motivated. My dream, and without doing anything about it, still a dream, and I'd like to wake up, is to make clothing for people over 60 who nature decide that the waste that they had before, something came and took that waste away and give them something else. Or they would clothing they had, they took it out of the wardrobe and they can't fit them. So my intention is to get there. Notice I said the word intention, but I'm going home tonight. I'm getting out my sewing room and get myself in order. I'm going home tonight. I'm going to get myself cards and I'm going to hand them out to ladies who sometimes they go to the to buy a dress and it takes them an hour or 2 days to find a dress to go somewhere. Just because the skirt fit, the top doesn't fit, the top fit, it doesn't fit, and they have to say, oh hell, I'm wearing it anyway with a jacket over it. I don't want to see the jacket. I want to see the waist, I want to see the curves, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm thanking each and every one of you up there for giving me the insight to do that. So the next time you see me, and you see ladies walking around with my label in the back, it's going to be Frederica's Couturier. Good idea. It was cold today, so I had to wear the jacket.
Love it.
I wish I
Love it.
Pat did. Oh, please. That is my, I can include the word asparagus. You can shorten it. Asparagus, can you shorten it, then you get the word I want? She's the one that kicks my asparagus whenever I say I can't. She said, Orion, what the hell are you talking about, girl? So, that's her. That's my ass kicker. Thank you.
Did you guys recognize what these two gentlemen just did it with Innovative Living Seminar? 60 years later, I'm assuming they encourage her. She's going to start her own company. 73! Amazing, amazing. There's age barriers should not be there. So she's going to be opening her own brand.
Listen, I just got a idea yesterday. Why don't clarify that?
Thank you.
Yes. Nick?
Yes. Because we're new high school.
Thank you, Gordon. Awesome, thank you. I believe in power of presence. My name is Nick Duncan. Yeah. And thank you. My background is public relations, communications, and my specialty, of course, in PR is to write. I'm an immaculate writer. You put the comma in the wrong place, it'll cost you a couple $1 million. So we need to be finite when it comes to what we do. However, I've taken those skills and translated them into motivational speaking and empowering people. And the reason I did that is because, well, somebody came to me and said, I want to be like you, and I should shoot them, because I thought it was ridiculous. But other people said that to me, and they said that to me for years, and I shoot them, because I just wanted to rock PR. I work in entertainment, film, and television. And, I'm thinking, I work with Burt Reynolds, I work with Will Smith, and you want to, no, get away from me. And I'm not interested in working. But it happened so much that one day, I was out at an event with somebody I was mentoring. She's petrified. She works for the government, and she wanted to bake. That's what she wanted to do. She wanted to get rid of her government job and bake. So I helped her work on a thing. I helped her design her campaign, because that's my background. And I went to this event with her, and I helped her rock her event. And there was a young lady at the event that came over to me and asked me a couple of questions, and I did the same sort of thing. And, I'm helping my friend, and she wasn't paying me for it. So this same young lady came to another event that I took my friend to, and came over to me and said, okay, you've done enough over here, come over to my booth, she said to me. And then she asked me, do you do this for people? And like Sunil, I said, yes, I absolutely do. And of course, at the time, I didn't. But my real question, getting to this now, I asked Sunil earlier, how did you determine your worth? And he shared something with me. So I gave these ladies a sticker price. They asked me how much it would cost to come and help their team increase their sense of worth, their self-worth, and also increase their sales. So I designed a campaign called Sales and Self for them. It's a campaign that I tweaked. But a week after I did the campaign, there was a lady sitting in the audience, and then she came to me and offered me a gig at her day job. She said, I want you to come and do this very same presentation for 4 of our locations, and what will it cost us? She said to me, so obviously they're willing to pay. I gave her double the price. Now, that's the real price, but I gave these ladies a discounted price because they had a desperate struggle, and it didn't seem that they would be able to afford that price, but I really wanted to help them. So I'm wondering, is that acceptable to do? And when people see that, well, they say, hey, well, you charge so-and-so that price. Is that acceptable to do? My motivation behind it was I cared about what they were doing and wanted to do, and I wanted to help them, and I had the ability to help them, but I knew they couldn't afford what I was bringing, so it gave them a great deal, but I also know that there's a lady sitting in the audience and I'm charging her company twice the amount, what it's really worth. Is that acceptable? Now I'm new to this, I came out of PR, and I've been doing this only for 7 months.
Thank you. First of all, great presence, and thank you for sharing about yourself. You're awesome.
Thank you.
I would say to you that it is not. It's what you're offering as a value, as we discussed. Yes. So if you charge somebody, let's say $1,000, and now somebody else comes along, and now you're saying $2,000. You're saying in your eyes that you're worth $1,000 because you charge somebody else. In my view, you're just escalating. So now your value is $2,000. You just gave this person a better deal. Okay.
All right.
All right. Is that good?
I can do it.
Secondly, it is your duty to become as successful and as wealthy as you can. Otherwise, you're being selfish to yourself. Because as successful you become, you're also growing at a different level, and you're going to provide better services to people, and now you're going to be able to help more people. There are people who are not successful, and they can still help people, but if you have resources and you are much more successful, and you choose to give somebody, let's say, a donation, or you want to help somebody without charging them, that's fine. But the main thing is your value just went up to $2,000 the day that somebody paid you $2,000 for your services.
Can I go back?
Can
I go back and give someone $1,000?
You could if you want to, but now your value is $2,000 and you're giving a discount versus the other way around where your value is $1,000 and you're charging them double. And tomorrow, if somebody comes to you and your value, you end up charging them $10,000 because now you have grown as well. Because when you help me, you grow as well as a teacher. So when you grow, now you're offering him a better value next time, and you should be charging more because it's value to him. So if you're making him $100,000 and you charge him 10, but you charge me 5, your value just went up to $10,000.
Okay, I can dig it.
Go. All right.
I want to add to that, because I think part of what you were saying, tell me if I'm wrong, is also that you saw somebody who may not be able to afford the full price. You wanted to help them and reach out. Am I correct?
Right.
Okay. So what I would like to say to that is sometimes there are times where you have needed a helping hand. Do you guys agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and somebody was there to give you that helping hand. And that's exactly what Nick was doing. And I commend you for that, because there are people that we will gift things to in order to help them get to the next level. And trust me, people, this is such a giving thing. It's huge mental income. And no, you don't do it all the time, but there are situations where you will. And knowing that you were there to help somebody succeed in their life at a time where maybe nobody else would is huge. You're having an impact on somebody and their lives. You don't even know. You don't even have a clue what that impact is. They may tell you, you still don't have a clue. You don't know that they couldn't put food on their table, that they couldn't pay the rent that month, that they couldn't feed their children, that they couldn't rent a car, right? I'm getting emotional.
Absolutely.
But it's the most beautiful thing to know that you were able to give to somebody and to help them get to the next level in their business. Thank you, Nick, for sharing that, because that's what I took from your story.
I'll say that it has to do with the humanitarian side of you. So it's called a 90-10 ratio. So 10% you give back, just like tithing. Okay? Keep it at that 90-10 though. Because what can happen is as you create value, you'll make the greatest mistake in business that people have done consistently, or entities have done consistently. I'll give you a prime example. Mercedes was the elite of the elite. When the economy crashed, which was 2009, I'm just giving you one cycle. Most of the cycles last anywhere between 13 and 16 years. They decided to make an economic car. Now everybody has a Mercedes. Several other cars are making the same mistake. But then you lose the entire intrinsic value of being an elite Mercedes-Benz because everybody has it. You can't build yourself up to here and then drop down to here. Does that make sense? Now on the humanitarian side, you can give away 10%, you can help whoever you want to. That's nothing more than called paying it forward. That's what both of them are talking about. But from a business perspective, as you start to climb that tree, you can't waver between different price status and quotes. Does that make sense? Okay? So you need to keep, it's a standard. And once you reach a specific standard and you sell that short, you lose all intrinsic value. And you'll have to start all over again in creating a new brand for yourself. And that is why Mercedes-Benz in the last 7 years has lost 40% of its marketplace. All right? There you go.
Guys, can you do me a favor?
Next one is Bentley.
See the folks over there, Terry and Anthony, they are at every one of our events. What they give in terms of what we do at our event is unbelievable. Right? They're so amazing. Give them a big hand. And this young fellow back there, Brenton, and his group, unbelievable. So, I got a question for Nick. And then I need these guys to help me out here for a minute. Okay? Stand up for a minute, Nick. How many people thought, or when he was speaking, how many people felt that what was his confidence level like, do you think, on a scale of 1 to 10? High, right? Nick, I'm going to pick on you, okay?
Pick on me.
I know I always made a rule that I don't pick on anybody that's not my own size, right?
I'm sorry.
I don't pick on any of this life.
I don't like turning my back.
Back up right here. We met on the phone for the first time the other day.
That's right.
All thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay?
I knew you had to meet him.
The confidence that Nick has, right? And you're humble. You didn't talk about some of the success that you thought you had, okay? But you were telling me B&B. What did B&B stand for you?
Brave and bold.
What is it?
Brave and bold.
You notice a little bit how there was no confidence when you said brave and bold?
Yeah.
I want you to talk about that for a second. And why you're here today. Now I'm going to get somebody like Byron or maybe Sunil to jump in on that.
Awesome, thank you. That is a direct response to fear and doubt, brave and bold. That is my response to it. Sometimes they'll say, shed your fear, you gotta get over your fear, get past your fear, you don't need any fear. I believe fear keeps you alive. I believe fear keeps you sharp. I don't believe that you should get rid of all your fear. I believe that you should be brave and step to your fear. That's what I believe. I believe that you gotta find ways to be bold and step over doubt. Fear and doubt are twins. Fear and his twin sister doubt always travel together. They always do. And the resplendent warriors, brave and bold, will kick their asses every time. All you have to do is put on a cloak of brave, regiment, 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 till it becomes you. No soldier becomes a soldier without regiment. No professional becomes a professional without regiment, without repeating, without doing it again. Set it in your mind, set it in your heart, make a move. If you don't make a move, it doesn't matter what you do if you don't make a move. So to me, brave and bold is the centerpiece of what it is that I do. It's in 4 different sections, but at the heart of it is brave and bold. Everybody can be brave. Everybody can be bold because everybody has experienced fear and doubt. And everybody has gotten past their fear and their doubt somehow, some way. So I came to say, be brave, be bold. Right?
Well, we talked on the phone a week ago. Yeah. Were you this brave and bold?
On the phone?
Remember what you said to me? You said at one time you were so brave and bold. You would.
Oh yeah.
Oh, remember that conversation, Nolan?
Yeah, I used to.
This is a different man than what I was talking to just the other day.
I was brave and bold coming out of the gate. How I got involved is I wanted to find a way to put my band in the front. I didn't want to go through 10 years of indie, 10 years of scraping. I wanted to find a way to put my band in the front. So I called Will Smith, and he came. And I put my band to open for him. And when my band opened for him, we got a lot of coverage, and we got a lot of people throwing money at us because now I was there to be seen. I needed to find a way to put myself out in the front so that those who mattered were able to see me, and I was seen. The next year, I was nominated for a Much Music Video Award, and we were excited. So it's brave moves like that that I used to make when I was younger. I'm 44 now. People think I'm in my 20s, but I'm a 44-year-old man. And I used to make brave moves like that. But then something happened in my world that just shook my entire foundation. But I got up because I had a mastermind, I had a network, I had people who loved me. And I built that network of people. My mother, she made this suit. She's badass like that. And she was in my corner. And my sisters, I have 9 of them, who love me dearly because I'm the prince. And they were there for me. My best friend Brian, he was there for me. The people who loved me, and they helped me to get up. Because I was, no, I'm done. But I got up. And when I got up, brushed myself off, and I said, one of the things, Mom, I'm transitioning. I need a suit. She said, absolutely. I went to my sister, who has other skills and abilities, and I called on the resources that I had. I came here from St. Catherine's because Power of Presence is here, opportunity is here, resources are here. You guys are all here. There's electric in this room. And when I came here this morning, I didn't know what to expect because I'm not in real estate. I'm in public relations. But there's one thing that I do know. Everybody here wants to be rich, richer, wealthy, and everybody wants to increase also their sense of worth, their confidence level. This is what I rock. Listen, let me tell you something. I told this brother, my goal, my finite goal, my deeply rooted desire to be the most influential man in the Commonwealth. If you ask why not the world, I love Canada. I love England, I love Australia, but I love Canada. And I'm going to be the most influential man in this country and then the rest of the Commonwealth. And you're all going to help me.
We're going to Trump, we're going to go him in for presidency.
You guys are all awesome.
Any questions? Anybody else want to share something?
Do I have any questions?
Don't
Yes.
be scared.
It's not a question.
Oh, statement. Go ahead.
No,
No,
I just wanted to say one of the things that I've noticed with many of these sessions that we come to is everybody talks about that visualization. And when I meet someone new, I always talk about that because it is so powerful in all aspects of your life, be it business or personal. I mean, for me, it was more in the personal life that I experienced so much visualization that it amazed me every time it happened. And so I've started to put that into place in this job that I'm in now. And it's amazing. And it's just amazing that God brings people together that have the same beliefs. And the power is incredible. And you can feel the energy in the room every time.
Awesome.
I have a question. Can you give us 5 things that you would tell a person to start from if they've never done anything?
That's Shania 7.
It's like a preview. Right.
I said 5. I didn't say all of it.
I am going to cover that at 7.
7:30.
7:30. Question over there? Or you're stretching?
When you've lost it all, you've done very well in life, career, anything, but somehow you've lost it all, and you're trying to start. How do you go about it?
You get excited.
When your family are not around, because they are not in the country where you are, when the friends that you thought you depended on, that you've helped over the years, are nowhere to be found, where do you start?
You get excited.
Right here for you. We're here for you.
Right here. You get excited.
The problem is when people are on the top of the mountain and they're doing well, that's when they actually party. That's when people are excited because they're actually partying. And when they're down, where you say that person is, whoever that person is, because it's not you, because I'm not going to let you claim her. But when that person is down in the gully like that, that's when they're actually, depressed. They feel oppressed. What they don't understand is, when you're the furthest down, is when you get the most excited. because the only place you can go is up. And when you're at the top of the mountain, is when you should actually be pondering and praying, because there's only another direction you can go, which is down. And so most people don't get that. They party when they get to a certain level of success, not understanding there's another mountain to be climbed. Even if it's just to be able to serve and help other people, there's another mountain to be climbed. That there is no success until you meet your maker. You know, to one person making $100,000 a year, you know, to a person making 50, like he's doing well. To a person making $500,000 a year, he's looking at the person that's making $1 million, saying he's doing well. To the person making $1 million, he's looking at the person making $10 million. How much is enough? Because it's not about the money. It's about the servitude. It's about the living on purpose and passion. And so long as you can avoid, it's a different way of saying it as opposed to Nick. I say that, you know, the devil has 3 best friends: doubt, fear, and worry. And they will come looking for you. But then I'll also ask, do you believe in goblins? Do you believe in devils? Do you believe in ghosts? Do you believe in vampires? Because I do. The only problem is they all show up in the form of your family and friends. The trick behind that is that you have to understand with a vampire, as all other demons, they will knock on your door, and they can only come in if you let them and invite them in.
Amen. What is your name?
Lydia.
Lydia. Lydia, can I give you a gift? I actually have an audio CD, starting out in business naked, and I'd like to give you a copy. Thank you.
Awesome.
And I have a gift for Nick.
Oh, yeah, beautiful. I'll take a gift.
Nick, I'd like to give you my book. Thank you. Chill.
Hey,
Chill.
we were only going to go until 5. We're 10 after 5. You guys okay?
Yeah.
Sure?
You tell us if you're not.
Any other questions? What do you
You're
guys have?
absolutely right.
Curiosities? Yes.
My name is Pat.
Hi, Pat.
And I'm 66 and I retired a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, I retired a couple of years ago. And I'm basically, I worked for the bank. I worked on the trading floor, crazy, but it was great. And I've always done community work. That's my passion. My passion is to help others, especially youth. That is my passion. I find adults, they waste your time, your energy. And I say to my friends, if you have 1 hour to spend, do not spend it with an adult. Don't. You will get really, they wouldn't learn anything because they want an ear to listen to. So that's my whole take on spending time and giving my time to adults. So now I'm transitioning wholly into giving my time to others, to young people. I work for, I volunteer at a shelter. It's called Eva's Initiatives, and it's a shelter for homeless youth. So the transition that I'm making is I want to become do more for them. In the sense, raising money, supporting them, and stuff like that. So I'm here today, and I'm learning a lot, and the energy is great. And I have watched television, which I never watched consecutively for the last few days. I watched The Good Wife. I call it binge watching. Yeah. I will never do that again. I've done it for like 4 days straight.
It's like eating candy all day, isn't it?
Yes. So I am not going to waste my time watching Netflix. Because you realize you can get in a rut doing stuff like that. I've never done that before. I have an auction coming up on June 9th that I have to, my goal is 300,000. We need to raise that money. So if I was to sit on my couch and binge watch, what would happen?
Somebody's gonna eat your lunch.
Right. So coming today here, my my energy level is amazing. So when I see you again, I will tell you of my success.
Awesome. I have a question for you. How much of 300,000 you so far raised?
Well, in 2014, we raised 210,000.
Yeah.
I didn't do it last year because I was going through a nasty divorce that took up my time. But when I hear people talk about support, my mother, my friends, my siblings, it's amazing how that network can get you through hell.
Yes. Yep, that's right.
And a good lawyer. So I survived that. And now, for 2016, my goal is $300,000.
However you plan to do it, if you continue to do it, you will be a Mother Teresa of Toronto. And for that initiative, on behalf of Innovative Living Seminar, we will start with the first $300.
Thank you. Thank you. I came here for a reason. I always followed God's lead. Thank you.
Look at that. Look at that.
Well,
Sorry?
Who invited you here today?
You. Yeah, I spoke to you. O'Neill.
He's not here. You gotta call him.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Tell him.
He's here tonight.
Oh, he's going to be here, yeah.
Okay.
O'Neill sent me, and I thought, I'm going to connect. We spoke on the phone, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I just got to be here.
Paying it forward, right?
Yeah.
True enough.
And then she called me and
Wants to
told me,
share.
there's this thing I have to get to. And
Now
I
we're-
said, why?
now
She
we're
said,
going
because.
on-
I said, you have to get to it. Because it's good for you. So I'm here.
Now you are going on the value together.
Yes.
I will do the same thing.
You guys notice some kind of changes happening? You know,
It can't be me. I'm gonna match both of theirs. 300.
You end up picking two best brain today, right? And discussing and asking questions. And somebody's starting a company. Your 300,000 initiative is already close to 1,000. You only had to do another $290,000. Amazing events. And
Awesome,
I'd like to
amazing.
thank you for coming. And if you have still a friend or family, call them. 7:30 still we have 2 hours to go.
I called
Ask
my
them to come.
granddaughter, my daughter-in-law, so I hope they come.
Awesome.
There you go.
Go pick them up.
She can't. She doesn't have a car.
I do have a car, but a young man hit my car the other day, and
Young
I
man.
didn't get, I did not get a rental because he was so traumatized. And I
Okay.
thought, dear God, I don't want, and he was paid, he didn't want me to go to the insurance because he was paid, he paid $4,600 to fix my car. And I said to myself, I have kids with cars, I have friends with cars. Why should I put him to the expense of a rental?
Wow.
So that's why I don't have a car.
bless
This is
you.
terrible.
If Tyler hit anybody,
Beautiful.
I hope somebody collects you.
Incredible people in this room.
That's it.
Any more questions?
There are some incredible people in this room.
It's done. This time to ask questions.
I don't have questions, I just wanted to say one more. Thanks.
Go sit over there.
I just wanted to say thank you to Shameen because he was the one who invited me over here. I have been to many conferences and learning programs in the last 15 years. And it's always we take some information and we walk away, we take some courses, develop ourselves. But the energy which I'm seeing now, I didn't plan to stay here up to 5 o'clock. I thought I'll leave by 3:30. But the energy kept me here and I was listening to that and I'm really amazed. I just wanted to thank him for bringing me and giving me this time.
Thank you.
So last night I also invited for the International Women's Day for panel discussion about real estate, right? So only what you have to do, I don't know how many of you are employed. If you are employed, first quit and start your own job or own employment. Then start hiring one person at a time. Add to your company or whatever you are planning to do. So how you think, that's my goal is to. We, as a brokerage, we have one goal. We come up with a call 555. And for my personally, I had a very simple goal. I want to employ 100 people, not real estate people, employ. 100 family can feed from my help. That's my ultimate goal for until 2020. We are very close. We already have 20 people, 20 employees are working for me. As me and Sabi come together, we need to put something for 2020 for the office as well. So we come up with 5, 5, 5. I would like to disclose that to you, all of you today. I thought to disclose on next meeting on next Wednesday. Wow. Sabi is supposed to do it, but I'm going to break it today. What that 5, 5 mean, 5, 5, 5 mean, within 5 years, 5 different locations. Now currently we have 2 process on the third one. And top 5 in Canada. We are number 10 now. Okay? With 555 agents. Now we are 200. I hope, as we said, everybody each other and help us to bring. If you know any real estate agent, refer to us.
Get your real estate license.
So there's a lot of energies here. So everybody started to.
Yep.
Yeah, so if you have anybody else, share your story. It will be good because it will be recorded. You are obligated to do it. And as they earlier they told you, right? Part of the training.
Perfect. And I know you'll achieve it.
Thank you, I will.
So why don't we do this? I'm going to get in a second Byron to wrap up. Again, I want to thank everyone for staying. And I know you're all going to be back at 7 or 7:30 because I called all your families and told them you're not coming home. Right? I love what Samin just said. Right? My mentor told me a long time ago, people don't follow people with money. They follow people with a vision. You guys agree with that? Okay. So tonight, it'll be life-changing. 20 years ago, I was absolutely flat broke. I won't go into the details, the stories that you guys heard that before. And I found a company at the time. I'm not going to tell you the initials. I'll tell you the name of the company. I'll tell you the initials are ACN. And it changed my life. Literally changed my life. I read a story in Success Magazine that talked about 30 some odd regional vice presidents averaging over $33,000 US per month. And I thought, wow, I want to be that first regional vice president in Canada. With this man's help, I was fortunate to become the first regional vice president. I don't say that to impress you, but just to impress you on the fact that I was so broke at the time. I mean, if there was a hole, I actually had to take a ladder to look up, just to get to. Like, I had to take a ladder just to see the top of the hole. Can anyone relate to that? Okay. So tonight, it's not just about business. It's going to be about personal development, personal growth. If you need someone who can hug you and kick you at the same time,
that was perfect.
You guys need that, you know that?
That was perfect.
Now, okay, it's life changing. Okay, it'll be a life changing event. Come back. If you got kids, bring them. Bring them. But you talk about youth. What inspired youth? This is a gentleman right here. Okay. Could you guys just do me one last favor? If this event, if this inspired you today, think of the hundreds and thousands of other people we can inspire, right? Do me a favor, Brent. I don't know if you have any more, if you can take any more footage on your camera, but this gentleman here, what a lovely testimony about Samin. When I met Samin, everyone told me SN, Samin Mohammed, stands for Serve More. Serve More. This is the reason why Century 21 and Severe, this team keeps on growing and growing because it keeps on giving back, right? So if you guys can help us give back and help more people, do me a favor, if you can give us a testimonial, like today, maybe just one thing, but what inspired you, what motivates you, what did you like about today's event, what did you like about maybe Sunil or some of the speakers? Does that make sense? Yeah. If you can give us a testimonial, that'd be phenomenal. And Sunil's program, last minute. I was lying in bed, again, thinking about what if Byron's flight got missed from Australia, and Roman's in Australia, right? You'd be stuck listening to, right? But Sunil, last minute. This man is a giant. Right? He is so humble. He is a giant of this industry. I wish I had someone mentor me to become a success. Brian Tracy, the best of the best of the best. Right? A 2-for-1, are you kidding me? First of all, he's discounted it by 50%, and then he's giving you a 2-for-1 ticket. You got to get there. I don't know how you're going to get there, but you got to get there because it's going to be life-changing. It will be life-changing. And Byron Mentorship, 20 years ago when I was building my business, we became the #1 in the company in production and customer acquisition and recruits and income because this is this man right here. And we used to sell a kit that taught people how to succeed in business. Was $500. And I had someone in the audience say to me, well, Gordon, I can't afford $500. And I'm glad I didn't say it, but my mentor here looked at the individual and said, if you can't afford $500, isn't that a clue that maybe what you're doing is not working? Think of that. Can you imagine if I would have said that to the person? They probably would have grabbed me by the throat and turned the ground or something. When Byron said that, a light bulb came on. Does that make sense? So, don't let money be an excuse, right? If you want something bad enough, you're going to go and get it, aren't you? Right?
Can I add that?
Yeah.
So here's the question. How many people in here want their life changed? Show of hands. I mean, really want it changed.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Look around. Look around. And look and see who didn't have their hand changed. Don't just raise your hand because everybody else raised their hand.
Well,
See, that's
incredible.
The trick right
It's
there.
changing every day.
Because the reason I ask that question is because you can't help someone change their life that doesn't want their life changed. It's not a convincing conversation. Tapping into what Gordon was saying more so than anything else is understanding that one of the reasons I don't do these type of symposiums, I only do it for Gordon and now Randy. I really would. I really would. I just, because I believe in the philosophy that it's easier to run with 3 than to drag 1,000. I don't do the dragging, I don't do the convincing, I don't do the selling, and I believe in philosophies. You know, as if you guys get the chance, if you don't know who Brian Tracy is, if you need to get to that. Brian Tracy was one of my teachers. I studied directly under Jim Rohn for 3 years. Directly under Jim Rohn, in Arizona, at his home. So, I mean, one of the greatest lessons I ever learned is if you don't pay attention. See, some of you think that you have the option. You came here, you said, I want my life changed. And then you would actually consider, I'm not sure if I'm going to be here at 7:30. And there were some that actually left and said, I'm not going to be here. Really? You have, if you count the money on the stage here, now I got 3 streams of income. I already know what he does. I know what he does. I know what he does. I know what these 2 do. Now, off of one of my streams of income, that's $40 million a month. Did you guys hear what I just said?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure you heard it. Okay, so for a person to get that for free, knowing that you're sitting in a combined effort of $1 billion on the stage, and you sit up there and say, I'm not sure if it sounds, I'm a little busy. Maybe I need to go feed the cat. You probably should go home. Does that make sense to everybody?
The dogs, not feed the
Because
cats.
I would prefer to have 10 people in this front row with our combined efforts of being able to completely give them transformation than to speak into the listening as if we're entertainers, just giving you information. Does that make sense to everybody? Because truly, one of the things that Gordon tapped into is your greatest investment in your entire life will be in yourself. You will never be able to become a law of attraction to attract all the things you want until you become more valuable than the things you're looking to attract. Anybody understand that conversation? You can't attract the man that you want. You can't keep the husband you have. You can't raise the children that you think that you want them to be good. You cannot build equity in your business. You will not be able to get to the parcels of land you want to sell, nor become an investor and get out of just selling in the first place. You'll never be able to elevate to the next level until you become the pure human equity. That's what we teach. Human equity and relationship currency. That's why what I love what he said, and many of you said, relationships and public relations, what he's talking about. My book coming out is called No Network, No Network. You don't have any net worth without a net worth. And this is where you don't just come and just mingle and acquire information. You establish powerful, forged relationships for lifetimes. I don't go anywhere without walking out with at least 3 relationships that are worth $1 million within 5 years. Period. It just doesn't, it's...
Can I be one of them?
Yes, I'll give her, But here's what you gotta understand of what Nick did. You have to identify yourself as a voice to be reckoned with, a force to be reckoned with. That somebody wants to be able to offer you a partnership. Too many people are looking for, well, it's not, I don't do real estate, or I don't do relationships, or I don't do this. I don't want somebody doing what I do. I want somebody doing something totally different than what I do because he has a totally different market than I have. And if I cross-pollinate my market with his market, I can quadruple. There's a horse that pulls 1,500 pounds. Another horse that pulls about 2,000 pounds. But together, somehow, they always pull about 6,000 pounds. And nobody in the world has been able to figure that out. But you by yourself, you'll be stuck. Because the true common denominator of business is not what you do, it's who you are. That's what it comes down to. Who you are, how valuable. Well, I don't know if that, it's not, this is what I want to do. She needs people. She's going to sell clothes. He needs people. He does public relations. He needs people. He does real estate. It doesn't matter what you do, the common denominator is always going to be people. Your perception is going to be your lack of depth of sight. Hence, no vision shall perish.
That's right.
Let's see who's here, so.
Come back at 7. I know we're starting at 7:30, but come back at 7 because I made a mistake and I've been telling everyone at 7. Okay. But we're going to be in the room across the crowd, not this room, but a room right over here. Oh, we're staying in here? It's even better. We're staying in here. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here.